The Good Guy Experience.
Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, KJ, and to my right, we got the Black Pearl. We also have Ash Jones in the house, everybody. My man's artwork photos and replacing the ever so talented Jay Weeks. We got my man, Coach Knox, in the building, and we are the Good Guy Experience. Guys, well, the experience is always good. So how are we feeling tonight? Guys?
Feeling real good.
Feeling real good, feeling nice and lovely. How we feeling, Ash? How we feeling?
I'm good.
That's what I'm talking about. I like to see the people feeling good. Black Pearl, how we feeling?
Blessed by the best at all times.
Blessed by the best. I want to start tonight's show. Me and my wife, we were sitting back. We were watching a good show, everybody, and that show is called Them. Them, everybody. Has anybody seen the show Them? Has anybody seen the show? Has anybody on the panel seen the show?
My first time coming across it was yesterday, so I haven't had the chance to watch it yet.
Well, has anybody in the chat box? We got people in the comments. Hey, what's going on, Lynn? Hey, Sharika, how are you doing? The show Them is pretty much it's taking place in the 1950s. It's about a black couple. They're moving into Compton. Now, if it's fact, I don't know, but they're moving into Compton, and Compton was a white neighborhood. So they're one of the first black couples to move in, and they're faced with the adversity of the actual people not wanting them to move into the land, and they're also met by some unwanted guests. That I'm gonna leave it there. So, guys, if you have not seen the show Them, go and check it out, guys. Go and check it out. All right. So
that man's eyes messed up.
So what we're going to do now, guys, hold on one second. We are going to go right into our segment. So going into that racism with that show, I'm going to share my screen here, and I am going to enter into our segue.
File charges against Potter. Meantime, today, officials in Minnesota, they are bracing for a fourth night of civil unrest. They've extended the curfew there. The Brooklyn Center mayor spoke out again today. He said the voices of demonstrators have been heard, but begged them to protest peacefully. Those demanding justice in Daunte Wright's death could see the Minnesota police officer who fired the fatal shots eventually stand trial in this case. Kim Potter, a 26-year veteran, was charged with second-degree manslaughter in Wright's death, which occurred during a traffic stop as a 20-year-old resisted arrest and tried fleeing the scene.
It is unlikely that the prosecution will be able to prove intent to kill. So they have charged her with a second-degree manslaughter, which means that she acted with culpable negligence coupled with recklessness.
Officers initially pulled over Wright for having expired license plates and an air freshener hanging from his rearview mirrors, but then noticed he had an outstanding warrant. Police body cam footage captured Potter warning that she was about to tase Wright. The Minnesota police chief, who resigned yesterday, said Potter accidentally reached for her gun instead of her taser and killed Wright. Protests continued for a third night in the Minneapolis suburb of Brooklyn Center, where demonstrations began peacefully, but then erupted into violence, with many violating the curfew there. Hundreds of demonstrators sounded off at the police headquarters, with members of the National Guard, along with police and riot gear, trying to control the scene. Dozens of people were arrested as protesters used umbrellas to shield themselves from pepper spray. They threw rocks and bottles at officials. Many were booked for rioting and other criminal behavior. Authorities showed some of the objects that protesters threw at police, like bricks, soup cans, and paint. They say they understand the pain the community is feeling, but that unlawful behavior is unacceptable.
There is no doubt that because of the body cam video, the prosecutor's office could move quickly, but also it is very tense in Minnesota right now. So they wanted to make sure there was transparency, that they took this video footage and this death seriously, and that Miss Potter would be held accountable.
Our legal expert, Allison Treasel, she also said that in the last 20 years, 5 other officers have been charged with manslaughter for this type of conduct, and only 3 officers have been convicted for this crime.
All right, guys. So as we can see, another incident where a brother yes, a young brother has been gunned down from police brutality. How do we feel about that today, guys? How are we feeling about that?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like it's no, I don't have any. I don't have no fight or nothing left in me as far as that goes. Like as far as the complain about it, I just feel like at this point, I mean, it's life or death. You're gonna have to make a decision in that moment, and it sucks, especially for black men, that y'all gonna have to make a decision when y'all in that moment. That's what's coming to, because it's either you're gonna choose to die or you're gonna choose to live. It's sad though.
So Ash, when you say that, when you say you want to choose to live, what how will we show that we want to choose to live? How will we go about doing that?
I mean, like I was just talking to some coworkers about earlier, I was just telling them, like, at this point, we can't keep protesting and marching in the streets. It's not working. We've been doing that for how long? It's not working. We got to meet them where they're at. I mean, that's just what it is. It's a hard thing to accept, but marching and praying ain't working. We've been doing that, so we got to do something else because it's not working. My grandma did that. I'm not about to repeat it. I'm tired of repeating cycles, because that's all we're doing is going in a circle. It's just a circle. So
How we feel about it, Black Pearl?
I'm gonna pass for 2 seconds. I'm gonna pass for 2 seconds.
All right, Artwork, how we feeling about the situation?
Saddened, hurt, angry, just a plethora of emotions. The thing is, this happened less than 15 minutes away from where they were having the trial for Derek Chauvin, who actually murdered, drawing a blank right now because I'm thinking about Dante Wright, that murdered George Floyd and everything. So this is happening inside the same city where a cop basically did this less than a year ago. I feel like all the momentum that we had when we were out protesting for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and so many others, it's like we lost that momentum. They're not trying to push the law for George Floyd for this to have been prevented in the first place. And it's like, where do you go from here?
I mean, good question. Where do we go from here? Coach Knox is on you.
Man, I feel, of course, frustrated, but I think really, man, this is grassroots. It's crazy because George Floyd's girlfriend taught the kid who got shot. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's crazy. That police department is clearly corrupt. It's clearly corrupt. You got police departments that are terrible. In Windsor, I spent time around there. It's corrupt police departments. Not trying to get ahead, but the Army lieutenant they got assaulted. They try to cover it up clearly from the top down. And just grassroots politics. You gotta get people in. You gotta vote for people locally who are going to do something about it. But we tend to not, focus on that. So,
Black Pearl, back to you.
So, I think you made a good point, Coach, but I don't think this is a political issue. This is a us issue. I don't think that everything that we're doing is not correct. I think our approach is not correct. We're fighting something, like we're trying to convince people who see this as normal that it's not lawful, it's not just. But for them, it's normal. It's just. It is the way that our history has been, that we're getting killed and they are the killer. Do you get what I'm saying? So to sit here and say we're going to march peacefully, well, what are we marching peacefully to say? To say that what they see as justice is unjust? That we're not making our point. I don't agree that you combat violence with violence either. But at the same time, we're not getting our message across because the message is not the right message. We need for them to understand the injustice that it is. We need them to understand that my crime is not something I didn't have a choice about. My crime is not because I'm Black. Are you crazy? That's what this whole country is built on, is my Blackness, my brother's Blackness, my cousin's Blackness, my father's Blackness. You know, even the gun that she reached for by accident is probably here because of someone's Blackness. You know, and I don't think that they understand that. I don't think that the people who do these things understand that, because when they show us getting killed on TV, it's intentional to show other people it's okay to kill them. We're going to go through the steps. We're going to make them think that we're on their side. And at the end of the day, we're going to slap you on the back, give you a paycheck in your bank account, and you can sit at home and live the rest of your life fine while someone's missing their father, someone's missing their son, someone's missing their daughter. Period.
They don't feel it. They don't feel it.
They feel it because they got caught. They don't feel it for the actual accountability of what you did. You took someone's life.
And I mean, the general public, like you look at a lot of my white friends, they don't feel a thing when this happens, and that's the sick part of it too. It's like for them, a Black person is cool. If you're nice, if I come, I'm smiling, hey, and I'm but if I'm not a model citizen, if I'm not perfect on a traffic stop, oh, you asked for it, you deserve that,
right?
And like, that's the root of the just lack of humanity.
Which is not the law. The law is that you are innocent till proven guilty. It's almost like they are the judge, the trial, the jury, everything. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, he had a history. So what? I'm innocent until proven guilty. But let's be real, that law wasn't created for us.
No.
Right? The police system wasn't created for us. It was created against us to get us slaves back in check because we had our freedom. And that was never changed. Just like the Constitution was never changed. It wasn't changed for us. It has never been changed. All the things that come against us as people, which is not even human, right, has never been changed. They changed everything else except the thing that counts with us as slaves.
Well, I do want to bring up this topic, and a lot of people in the comments or something like that might be like, "Oh Lord, here he come with this," because a lot of people don't want to hear about what are Blacks doing. Now, listen, this does not excuse people killing us, hurting us, or anything like that. However, my question is, how do we expect another race or somebody else on another platform to respect us when we don't respect ourselves? Now, guys, I say that because this morning I am an educator, and I was scared. Honestly, I was scared stiff this morning because one of the bus drivers got off. Somebody in the county got killed this morning or last night. So I'm automatically thinking, oh no, please don't let it be one of my students. Please don't let it be one of my former students. I'm asking, who was it? Now, I mean, I hate that it was anybody, but thank God it was not one of my students. But every day it's becoming every day we're killing each other. We're demeaning our women. We're disrespecting each other. So how do we expect anybody else to give us any respect? How do we go and how do we march and ask for peace? Oh, y'all better give us some respect. Then turn around. Oh, nigga, you're gone. Bye bye. You know,
gotta prepare. I mean, my thing is like one of my good friends, Jerry, and I went to Winston-Salem State with him. We honestly should have him on the show. He's very informative. But he put a post up earlier, and I'm gonna just go ahead and read it because it's the truth. He said, "All this, I'm so scared to be a Black man in America, and I'm not a threat. Please don't shoot me. I can't breathe. Rhetoric is sickening. We spend more time scared than being prepared, and that's the issue." He said, "That's the truth. We spend a lot of time being scared and not prepared, and that's
intentional fear. That's intentional seeds of fear.
And it's like, when are we gonna stop being scared? This has been traveling through my mind for about 2 or 3 weeks heavy. When are we going to stop being scared? Because that's literally all this is fear. Only thing you see on CNN, and I can honestly say this because I've talked to directors at CNN because of my sister, they literally put stories out to put fear in you. COVID.
Correct. It's mental slavery.
Honestly, I caught COVID. It's not that bad. I mean, I get people are dying from it, but it's not nothing to be fearful of. If I would have went into COVID when I found out I had it and just been scared the whole time I had it, I would have been sicker. People don't understand that. So it's like it's so much fear instilled that we're scared to go outside and fight for something, but we're not prepared. So it's like we can't go outside and do nothing because we're not prepared. Because we scared.
Well, you know, the last time we weren't scared, these brothers were around. That's the last time that we weren't scared. We had
Exactly.
Yeah,
brothers like
but
that.
look what they killed those brothers. They murdered them. They're
Yes.
dead.
Hey.
So that's what I'm saying. So is that somewhat engraved in our brains? Like anytime somebody
Absolutely.
steps up,
Yeah.
they're gonna get them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Slavery may have stopped on a piece of paper, but it did not stop mentally. That has always with us is fear is always going to dictate if we don't take control of that fear. What if it can happen? You know, all this other stuff. You know, it's not going to get us anywhere.
No.
But to your point,
Fear is control.
you know,
yes, sir. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but to your point about us asking for respect, and you know, when we don't respect ourselves, there are a lot of agendas out here that make us feel like we're worse than we really are. I hear that a lot. I mean, because we're not doing as bad, and we're not as bad as we think. We kill ourselves. The people that talk most worse about us is us. I mean, we're educated. My circle is doing great, and when I look at all this, and I see other people's circles doing great, we have subcultures not doing well. But I'm not going to own everything bad about the Black culture. You know, like, oh, so if a cop kills me unnecessarily, then he needs to go to jail. I don't care who got killed in Chicago. Yeah, they need to go to jail too. You know, but I'm not. Oh, don't say nothing because Black on Black crime. Hell no, you need to go to jail too, along with the person killing another Black person. You know.
And I want to understand, why do we always have to have a standard for, like, oh, we're not respecting ourselves, so that means you guys deserve to be killed? No, everybody within their culture is doing something.
No,
right?
Hold on. Let me say that. I didn't say that anybody deserved to be killed. No.
I'm not saying you said that. No. I'm saying how they go, well, look at Black on Black crime. It doesn't matter. Wrong is wrong. Whether it's a cop, a Black person killing a Black person, a white person killing a white person, it's still wrong. I think what we need to understand is we are still in slavery, period. We may not be getting our backs whipped, we're getting our minds whipped. We may not be in a cage, right? Or have a shackle on our ankle, but we have a shackle on our way of thinking. We have a shackle on our way of looking at each other. We are still enslaved. And honestly, this slavery is far worse than physical slavery, because the wounds will heal. The mental, we will pass that on to the next generation without even realizing it. We will pass it on. And that's worse. That's a seed. That's almost like weeds growing in a garden and being out of control. So it took me a while, but I really do feel in many ways we're still enslaved.
And that's the thing. When there is Black on Black crime, these people are giving out ridiculous amounts of numbers for crime. Like, you're getting 50, 60 years for a murder. If you're with someone that commits a crime, you're getting in 30 and 40 years. But then all of a sudden a cop does it and they're getting 2 years for manslaughter, or they're just getting off outright. Like, it's just ridiculous.
If there's an indictment.
Yeah.
Well, at what point do we teach our children? I mean, we at some point we got to stand up and we got to take our youth back. Because what I'm saying is, when we turn on our radios, when we look at our movies and things like that, the first thing we see is, and excuse my language, bitch, ain't no motherfucking joke. I'll kill you. I mean, that's the, am I right? Am I lying? Is that the first thing we hear? Now take that. Now, all of us up here are mature adults. We can decipher entertainment from, hey, you know, I got a job in the morning. I can't bang on people. Y'all have a good night. So, I mean, versus the child of the mind of a 12-year-old who doesn't have that strong figure at home, or somebody who's listening to that to be dad, like, yo, young shoot 'em up said, yo, I gotta kill a nigga if he disrespect me, and that's what I'm gonna do. Damn it. I mean, so how do we get our youth back?
I feel like that falls on the parents. Of course, you're going to have that type of music. I grew up on that type of music. Bone Thugs and Harmony, Tupac, Biggie. You know, I grew up on a lot of entertainment, Scarface and stuff like that. Like, it's not just our community making that type of entertainment, very violent, very, you know, drug ridden and everything. But it all comes down for what's in your environment? Are your parents teaching you the right way and telling you that's just entertainment? Or are they letting the TV raise you, and then you're going out and someone else in your community is doing something and you have a follower's mentality and start following that crowd? That's ridiculous.
TV
Like, you have
raising.
to be your own person.
Yeah,
I am
it's
here to
on
tell
the
you right
parents.
now. I hope you don't mind me telling the world, Coach Knox, that you're an educator as well. But
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But
Yeah.
as an educator, I am
14
here
years.
to tell you right now that the youth right now, a lot of them have adult problems. They have come to me as a coach and they have told me problems that 21-year-olds aren't having. You know, and
Facts.
they don't have the structure at home, as you guys said. The parenting starts at home, and they don't have that. I've come and I've been more of an influence than what they have at home. So if you don't have that structure at home, and what they get at home is negativity, and the streets are raising them and things like that. And don't get it twisted. And most of our music is F the police. Now, granted, that did come from a place. I mean, when they started saying that there was police brutality back in LA and things like that, I understand where it derived from. But when you have a child who may haven't experienced anything like that with the police, who's walking around F the police just because you a cop, Nick, and is you know, I mean, is that detrimental? I'm asking, is that detrimental to our situation?
Well, I mean, the fact that bad parenting is always going to be detrimental, no matter what. You know, I mean, because Japan gets it, they hear the same music that we hear. You know, Russia, they hear the same music we hear. You know, and you know, and you don't see the same issues. So it's how you handle your children, and the village is broke. You know, people are cowards. So if you want to save these children, and I hear people talk about, oh, the kids, look at them sagging their pants, but you won't say anything to them. I'll go to Walmart and check a kid that I have never met in my life before, because I care about the kids. Now, if you care about the kids, when you see something, you say something. But if you scared, I don't know their parents, I don't know the mom. Hey, if their mom run up on me, then it is what I'm about it, because I'm in the war to save children. You know, I got players who've gotten killed. I got players who've gotten locked up, and I'm about trying to save people and help them. And if I don't know you, I see you, I'm gonna say something to you. I see kids cussing. Hey, I don't hear you cussing. You know what they say? Yes, sir. Sorry, my bad. You know.
Yes. I do want to go back to this comment. It says, then as their educator, do your part. Now, I will say this, as an educator, yes, I do. I've been a coach. I've tried to build my own gym system, trying to get them to do so, because a lot of these problems come because kids have nothing to do. They have nothing to do. They get home and they let the TVs raise them, the video games raise them. So I myself am trying to put together a gym, an after-school program. So yes, ma'am, I am trying to do my part. All right. So artwork, how are we feeling about it right now? How are we feeling about the situation?
As far as the situation that we just saw, or the situation as in a whole, like Coach Knox was saying, we just had this situation right up in Windsor, Virginia. You know, you just had this situation with Dante Wright. We've seen this situation play out all throughout the summer of, 2020. And as bad of a year that was, thinking that, a new regime would step in and we would no longer be saying defund the police and everything. But they expect for a person who has no training to be able to know exactly what to do in front of a police officer when the police officers are the ones with the training. They're supposed to be able to de-escalate a situation. And one thing that I did want to point out about the Mr. Wright situation, the reason why the first thing that they said was that he had a warrant that was out for his arrest. It was because anytime we're in the media, it's this criminal this criminal that. Let me go ahead and shame this person's name before I tell you the story. They do not do other races like that. Whenever there's a cop involved shooting or anything like that, they say allegedly. We could see on tape that this person was killed by this person. How is it alleged? And the reason why Mr. Wright had that warrant out for him is because they sent the actual paperwork to the wrong address and he missed the Zoom call for the hearing. So you made him have a warrant. This isn't something that was of his own fruition. They sent it to the wrong address and made him have a warrant.
Right.
But again, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? What happened to that? It didn't work that time.
That doesn't happen for us.
I agree 100% because honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm still mad about the Trayvon Martin situation. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm still a little upset about that one, but I'm not going to say anything.
But you already did,
man. I'm never mind. The next, I want to play this clip as well and see how you guys felt about this clip. We have a young gentleman. He's obviously in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I'm just flipping through.
Well, you've been here like 15 minutes now. Let's go. Walk away. Keep walking. Walk away. Walk away right now. You need help? I'm happy to help. There's a difference between pushing you. Were the aggressor, buddy. You're aggressing on the neighborhood. Someone came running. You better walk away.
Oh no.
You talking to my wife right now. Walk away. Walk away. Get down. Walk away or I'm going to carry you right now.
Wow.
What are you going to do? Let's go. Walk away. I'm about to do something to you. You better start walking.
Not a public sidewalk.
I ain't coming after you.
Sidewalk artwork.
All right, so guys, I'm gonna tell you, I heard several threats, and this brother put his hands on him. At what point is it illegal to be walking in a neighborhood minding your business? Because I didn't hear them say that he did anything illegal. I heard one lady say, well, you've been here for 15 minutes. Is it illegal to stand in the neighborhood for 15 minutes?
When you're black, yes. Apparently.
I see Ash's face is like, she's like, Lord. She trying to hold it back. So
I mean, because that situation is frustrating because I just saw that they ended up, I guess some activists and protesters and stuff ended up coming to the neighborhood trying to get the guy to come outside. But in that situation, when I was doing my little reading and comments and stuff, they said he lived in the neighborhood. The reason why he wasn't telling them where he stayed at was because he probably feared his safety at a point. I mean, we talking about some big military-looking white dude who clearly gonna have the law on his side. And I wouldn't have told him where I stayed at either. But I guess the part that made me mad was he put his hands on him and nothing was done. And it's like, how much more bullying are we going to take? Like,
yeah, but if he did something to him after he did that out of a reaction, it still would have been on us.
And what got me was they played victim before he could even open his mouth. You saw at the beginning of the video, the two white women, like, you were the aggressor. They made sure that was not he was the aggressor, and it's like he was walking with headphones in.
Right.
Like he's the aggressor, and I'm like, okay, I get the activists coming to the neighborhood. That's the part I was getting to. Okay, what are we doing? We're in the neighborhood, and y'all standing outside his house. Now he got probable cause. Y'all come in his driveway and knock on his door to kill you. So what are y'all doing? Because, I mean, are we coming there with a motive or are we coming there to talk? I just don't see how much more conversing we need to do with Caucasians at this point when they're not on our side, when we don't see eye to eye, when it's a clear racist issue. How much more talking are we going to keep doing, y'all? I'm sorry, maybe because I'm young and I'm 27, but all this talking, I don't see it because, like, I mean, I just was at my great uncle house. He's 89 years old, and he even told me, y'all got to be the generation to stop talking. We got to stop talking. It's not working. He's 89. My uncle marched. He did all of this stuff already. He's telling me, y'all got to stop talking. It didn't work. And he got
y'all can do it the way my peoples did it now.
Huh?
Them Haitian, you can do it the way my peoples did it. Them Haitian peoples enough.
Y'all won't plan.
But they got screwed in the end too, though. Like
they did.
Collective as a race, like I commend the young man in that situation because had been me and he put his hands on me, he would have been shot. I mean, because I'm in my neighborhood. You put your hands on me at this point. Now I got to defend myself. I would have shot him, but that's just me. Or if I had a taser on me, because I don't go nowhere without a taser or pepper spray or a gun. So one of the three would have been on me if I'm walking around the neighborhood exercising or whatever he was doing. Something would have happened to him because he clearly pushed that man in the video. How much talking are we gonna do?
Okay, so I mean, are you saying that we need to get back on our Black Panther issue? Are you saying
Yeah,
that we need to
it's
we
time.
need we
It's
need to
past
we,
due.
we need to congregate, we need to get together, and we need to be
If I was born in 1947 or whenever the case might have been, I'm with Malcolm. I'm not with Martin. I'm telling y'all that now. I'm the Malcolm. I'm running with them. I'm the one. I'm walking.
We know, Ash.
We can go ahead and we can make it do what it do.
And let's clear that up. That was young
let's clear it up.
Martin.
Let's clear
Martin
it up.
ended
I
up
think you were gonna
learning
say
too.
some artwork.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Martin ended up learning too. After he realized he led us into a burning house, Martin wised up too. The
Yeah,
Martin
I
Luther
get
King
that.
that
All
you
I'm
get
saying
during
is,
Black
let's shoot it
History
out.
Month is what they want you to remember about Martin. That ain't how Martin
Which
was
is the
when
mental, the
they
mental
Oh yeah,
state
no, I
assassinated
especially.
Martin.
I know at
It
the
was
end,
way different in the
I
end.
know why he really got shot and why they really shot him. I get that. He
Mm-hmm.
found out at the end. He just found out too late. I know what you're talking about. I'm just talking about for this scenario here. Let's shoot it out. That's what it's coming down to. So let's shoot it out. Period. Like,
But you know what, Ash? You know what, Ash?
I'm tired of keep talking to these white people. I tell them at my job all the time. I ain't got so much patience for y'all. I'm not doing all this talking.
But Ash, with that, even with that, who were the people that brought, like, when they were going against the oppressor and everything like that? We had these groups that went against the oppressor. Who were the people that actually brought these groups down? It was an informant from within. So we can't even. I mean, who do we trust? We can't even trust our own.
We can't trust. That's what I keep telling everybody because everybody wanted to run to these polls and go vote for Joe Biden and Kamala. When I was telling people the whole time, you cannot trust Biden the same way you cannot trust Trump. You cannot trust these people. You cannot trust nobody in politics. They're not to be trusted. Not one. Sorry, the black people too. We got a bunch of black sellouts going on right now. We can't trust none of them. So at this point, we as a collective, like they said, it takes a village. We gotta at some point we're gonna have to come together, and everybody that's like-minded is gonna have to come together, and we're gonna have to strategize and prepare and plan. We can't just keep. What are we? Black Lives Matter, and we painting in the street. What is that doing? It's not doing nothing. It's not fixing anything. Okay,
Black Lives
we
Matter.
got
They collect money.
Black Lives Matter. What law is that helping? Because that ain't help that little boy. He ain't get no justice. It's not helping nobody.
It definitely ain't got no peace.
I want to paint Black Lives Matter in the street, and that officer's still free. And the rest of them that was on duty with him, that was all that was there. They all free. So I'm just saying, like, how much more is it gonna take? At this point, let's shoot it out. Like I said, I'm standing on that. We can shoot it out.
All right, Malcolm Jr.
So with that being said, with the shoot it out statement being said, all right, Joe Biden did the executive order on April the 7th, I believe, about guns. He had 6 orders. The first, the Department of Justice within 30 days will propose a rule to help stop the proliferation about ghost guns. Number 2, the Justice Department will have in 60 days propose a rule to make clear when devices marketed as stabilized embraces effectively turns a pistol into a short barrel rifle subject to the requirement of the National Firearms Act. Number 3, the Justice Department within 60 days will publish model red flag legislation for states. And number 4, admin investing in the evidence-based community violence intervention. Number 5, issue an annual report on firearm tracking. And number 6, the president will nominate David Chipman to serve as the director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Ladies and gentlemen, weapons. Do we need them? Do we need guns? Do we need them for our protection?
Absolutely.
Or what the government is saying? The government, they're going towards gun control. Do we need some type of gun reform or gun control? How do we feel about that?
They should have thought about that when they passed them damn. I'm sorry, excuse my language. When they passed them, laws. I think I was in college because I had to do a paper on it. I want to say this was 2012, 2013. I think Obama was still in there, and that's when they were talking about passing them gun laws and stuff. And I was totally against it because I'm like, what does regular civilians need military, weapons for? What do we need all that for? I was against it, but now that they passed it and y'all done passed them out, live with it. They got them now. Because I know people with some real ammo that's war ready, and with everything going on, and because I'm woke and I'm kind of aware of everything going on, yeah, we need them guns. So we
We
need them.
do. We
We need
do.
them.
Yeah, we
Can't
All,
take it
definitely
all
back.
these
need them.
laws,
Too late
all
to
these laws are an illusion of something being orderly. It is seriously too late.
It's too late.
Seriously.
It's too late.
Well, I mean, it's kind of ironic if you really understand the politics of it, because the last president to really do anything about actual gun control, Obama couldn't get it done, was Reagan. The Brady bill. That's the last president to do anything. They've always said, "Oh, they're gonna take your guns. They're gonna take your guns." They never do, because politically, it's just not. They can't get it passed. So the last one to do was a Republican.
I
As
think
far
Joe
as me,
Biden's trying to make it harder to get it or something. He's trying
yeah,
to do.
now Joe, the politics is kind of lining up a little bit, but I don't think he can get it passed either. They won't get that passed in the Senate and House.
Hold that thought. That's what we got. Mr. Artwork Photo. You see him sitting up in his chair like,
He got real like he's like,
Just
hold
getting
on now.
comfortable.
So Artwork,
Just
take it
getting
from here.
comfortable.
What is going on? What the hell is going on, man? What is going on with these reforms and orders, man?
The thing is, I almost don't want to make too much sense of it, because I feel like you make too much sense and then that's actually what they're going to go after. So it's like a catch-22. But one of the things is they weren't executive orders. They were actually executive actions. The difference between an executive order is that means that it will go into effect that day. An executive action means that what he wants Congress to do is to look into these things. He wants the ATF to look into these things. And I do believe that they have a timeline for these things to come to fruition. So right now it's not a law, but it can become a law very soon. One of the things that Mr. Knox pointed out about, Reagan being the last to pass a lot of these bills like the Brady bill and stuff like that. What they have done since then is chip away, because after Reagan, you had Bill Clinton, who under I believe that it was Biden that was helping out with the magazine ban, where you only had 10 rounds that could fit inside of a magazine that could go inside of a weapon.
Yeah,
I believe that that's what Biden is basically trying to get us back to. I know that in North Carolina, there really isn't a magazine capacity law, but as soon as I drive up to Virginia, I have to make sure that there's not more than 20 rounds inside of a firearm.
So what do you guys say to someone, well, not really anti-gunners, but the people that tell you, you don't need all that. You don't need an AR-15. Go out and get you a shotgun and a pistol, a six-shooter, and you're okay. I mean, how do we feel about that? Is it true that all we need is a double-barrel shotgun, and we just need a revolver, and that's all you need, versus AR-15s, and 15 capacity magazines and things like that? How do we feel about that?
You don't need a Dodge Charger Hellcat, but I don't see nobody jumping out of their car and cranking it up in the front.
Okay.
Ain't nobody got that 3 horsepower engine no more.
Yeah, we don't need a lot of stuff.
You say
I believe in having mine.
What you say?
I believe in having mine. They got theirs. I'm gonna have mine, and it's too late because it's in my closet already.
So
don't tell them where it's at.
Oh wow! So hold on one second. So let me ask you guys this: why is this scary to people? Why is this scaring our people? What about this is scary? Because what happens is, what it feels like, it's just a war on the AR-15. The AR-15, which Artwork a lot of people like to call, it's the assault rifle. That's a scary, I mean, if we have to be honest about it, it sounds scary. Assault rifle sounds scary, which I'm going to let you tell the people the correct name. But why does this look so scary, guys? Because honestly, if you're somebody who doesn't know guns, you look at this picture, you're like, good Lord, why would someone need all of that?
I bet people tell me it's a machine gun and just a weapon of death. I mean, it's a rifle. I mean, really, it's a rifle.
Well, we have one comment. Why do you need 20 rounds? Like, what type of battle are y'all trying to be into? Lynn,
I would love to answer that one too.
Coming.
Go ahead, answer.
Go ahead, artwork.
And the thing is, Miss Lynn, the reason why you want to be able to have more than 20 rounds, I don't think that anyone is actually walking around with just 20 rounds on them. But the reason why you would want that inside your home for home defense is you don't know if there's only going to be one attacker that's coming to you in the middle of the night. You don't know if there's going to be multiple assailants. You don't know if all of these people are going to be coming in with 30 round magazines, with drum magazines and everything else. You get up in the middle of the night with your 5-shot revolver and there's 4 guys at your door with over 20 rounds. Are you going to say then, oh, you know, I don't need 20 rounds? You need more than 20 rounds.
So are you saying that higher capacity magazines could be used for multiple intruders? This is not the day of old where you had you watch the door and I'll go in and try to get the money. I mean, you know, it's not the day of old where you had what was the cartoons with the guys? They would have a black and white stripes on with a chain attached to their foot, breaking into somewhere. It's multiple it's multiple assailants trying to attack people and everything like that. So we may need those higher capacity magazines. Now, what do we do when people bring up mass shootings? Are mass shootings any way connected, or could the gun bans cut down on mass shootings?
That's what I was going to bring up, because I had actually looked at a post earlier that was talking about those guns, and they were saying how the issue is something about white parents not putting their guns up away from their sons, like their kids and stuff. Because I guess the last 2 guys who did those mass shootings were kind of young, and they were just talking about how they just, you know, they are we doing, as far as people who have guns in the house, are we doing a good job securing them and putting them away so that kids can't get to them? Because, you know, obviously the mass shootings has been happening. And I actually read that post and I was like, wow. Because I remember my father growing up, he had a gun cabinet and I didn't have access to it. I couldn't get into his gun cabinet. Like, he made sure his guns were put away. Are we doing a good job as parents? Because it ain't just white people, because black people got guns too. Are we doing a good job putting the guns away and keeping them away from the kids? And keeping them away from, not just kids, but people that come in your house, relatives. Because I know I got family members that come in your house and steal your gun. Are we doing
I think we forget that just because we could get pregnant doesn't mean that you can be a parent. How about that?
I want to go to Rambo Lynn. I'm sorry, Lynn. I hope you don't call you Rambo Lynn. She says, "F it, I'm going to get one tomorrow."
I know that's right.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Go ahead,
Lynn. Go get you one. Protect
go
yourself,
get it.
girl.
Hey, Rambo Lynn, but I do advise that you go and learn about it. You get you somebody who is going to teach you how to handle it properly, because
Exactly.
I mean, you know, we don't want any injuries happening and things like that. But speaking of, where people know how to handle guns, especially AR-15s and things, I've seen videos of little I don't want to say Caucasian, but little white girls and things like that. They have AR-15s and they're comfortable.
And
they're
they know
doing
how to
it
shoot
for
the
sport.
thing. I'm telling you.
Yeah, because it's
and us, we talk about we want to get in. I mean, we want to protect our people, but we're teaching our little girls to twerk, while these little girls are out here.
I ain't teaching mine to twerk.
I bet you I can knock the wing off that flag.
I ain't teaching mine down.
I mean, we
other side of town.
I'm quick to go to the country and say, let's go to the backyard and shoot some guns. If you about 13, 14, you need to know how to shoot a gun. I'm sorry, maybe I'm just country, but you need to know how to shoot a gun, especially if you watch it.
And I remember coming down during the summers and stuff like that. My grandfather would take me in the backyard with his shotgun, and we fired shotgun as kids.
Yeah.
You knew about gun safety. You knew to point it in a safe direction.
Yep.
You knew to never point it at a target unless you know what's beyond it, keeping your finger off the trigger. There are a lot of things that would actually help these children from, you know, using these weapons on themselves if they taught this in school. I remember when I was going to high school, they used to have people with gun racks on the back of their car. They stopped all that. Now you can't have it on school property. But we had hunters going to my school that would pull up with 3-4 rifles on the back seat.
Yeah, you can't do that now.
This generation,
no.
But doesn't this all fall under the point we made even before, that the education starts at home?
Yeah.
Protecting yourself at home. Hey, the guns are up in this area. Don't you go and touch that unless you feel that we're in danger. You know, that's all educating. That's all hands-on parenting, which is what's missing overall.
Because from my understanding, most of the mass shooting guns were obtained legally by somebody.
Yes, sir.
Either the shooter or somebody in the shooter's house.
Correct.
They weren't going in the back alley getting the gun. They bought it legally. So whatever law you make, they'll get it legally and go shoot people. It's the heart of the person. You can't.
And that's the thing.
legislate
They're
that.
going after the AR-15 pistol now because I believe one of the last shooters actually obtained it legally, and they're saying, oh well, it's different from a regular AR-15, which back to KJ's point, it stands for armor light rifle and not an assault rifle.
Yeah.
The thing with this pistol brace thing that they're doing, who do you know that's actually concealing an AR-15 pistol? The thing that is killing most people are handguns because they're easily concealable and you're able to sneak it in just about everywhere. That is what is actually taking lives. The thing is, I believe that rifles, and I don't want to misquote the actual percentage, but there are not that many people being killed by AR-15 rifles. They make it out to be this big, scary rifle and everything. They're not automatics. So I hear a lot of people say, we have military weapons and stuff like that. That is not what the military uses. The military, you put the magazine in, you hold the trigger one time, all of those rounds go out at once. You have to pull that trigger every time, which is a semi-automatic, just like most people.
In the Army, we use a M4 and it's semi-automatic. Because what people don't realize, a fully automatic rifle is inaccurate. You're not gonna hit anybody. If you just spray, you're not gonna hit anybody. But a semi-automatic is what's used. It's more accurate.
Is that what they're telling you to use it on? Like select fire? Are you able to select fire on the military versions?
Yeah. But there's a 3-round burst, but it'll shoot 3 rounds at once. Because fully automatic is inaccurate. It doesn't work. You're not gonna get anything.
And a waste of ammo.
Yeah, it's just.
Let me ask you guys this: people are afraid that when they buy weapons, that the government or whoever else is going to know that what they have. Is it true that when you buy a weapon, that weapon is registered? Is it true that weapon is registered when you buy it, or do you have to go through another process to have that weapon registered?
Yeah, because
was there anyone else?
I've gotten pulled over and had a cop ask me where my pistol was at. So yeah,
wow. So when
actually
you
it was near Windsor.
Because I've heard 2 different things now. So when you buy your weapon, that weapon is automatically put into a registration, because I know that they're trying to fight for a universal registration. So if they're fighting for a universal registration, what kind of registration are we having now? Because I have heard that when we buy weapons now in North Carolina, that weapon is not registered. Yes, you can tell that you have your receipt from the store and they have that, oh yeah, he purchased this here, but you're not actually registered. So I just want
like national. I think it's by state. But
the thing is, Coach Knox is right about that. It depends on the state. Like if you are a California resident, as soon as you purchase that firearm, it is registered with the state of California. They actually are limited to the type of guns that they use. I'm not sure if they have like Gen 4 Glocks, but I know probably 2019, 2020, Glocks are on Gen 5 these days. In California, you can only have a Gen 3. If you have an AR-15, there's this huge fin in the back of it that doesn't allow you to actually put your hand around it. In North Carolina, we do not have the law where it is registered, but you do fill out a 4472-73, where basically you're purchasing this firearm, and unless it's used in a crime, it won't go into the ATF database.
Okay. So I saw in President Biden's action that he was going against ghost. What are ghost guns? So that's my. What are ghost guns for the people that don't know? What are ghost guns?
Well, if they get
ghost
printed,
guns.
Welcome back, Rambo Land.
She's perked up on this. You might want to get one. Huh?
Guns
well,
are weird
somebody
to me.
get Lynn a gun. Who's gonna pick up Lynn tomorrow so she could buy a gun? Somebody need to pick her up and take her to get this gun.
Yeah, look,
Rambo
ghost
Lynn gonna
guns
come
don't
back.
have a.
Hey, the next episode, hey, guess what, guys? You take a picture with it and
She
everything.
gonna be like this.
And we just messing with you, Rambo. We just messing with you. But go ahead. What are ghost guns?
They don't have a serial number. I know the ones, the printed ones, the what do you call it, the where you print stuff. They
The
print
3D
guns.
printers.
3D printer. There you go. They don't have any registration on them. They're trying to regulate that some, and then I know there's some older ones that are in circulation that they're trying to get a hold of too. But,
Okay.
And the thing is, what they're trying to do is scare you and call them ghost guns. The thing is, there are instructions on the internet for you to buy a gun for as long as the internet was around. There is no law against you actually creating your own gun. The thing is that you cannot make a gun and then actually sell said gun or firearm. What they're trying to say about these ghost guns is there was companies that will have either a block of plastic or a block of metal, and they would send it to your home. All you had to do was drill out certain pieces and everything. And if you did this work at your home, you were able to then add the internal pieces of the firearm. You were able to get the top slide, all these things that aren't serialized, like Coach Knox was saying, and you could create this firearm. But all it starts out with is as a piece of plastic or a piece of metal, and you could just add all the things to it to make a gun.
Okay. Well, my last question, guys. If they pass a gun law or a gun ban, could that make our country safer? At the end of the day, could that make our country safer? If
No,
they
it's
said,
not
"Hey,
a rule.
no guns," everybody like who's seen that Family Matters episode? Turn in your gun.
not in the hood. It's not.
If they did that and everybody came up and turned them in, would our country be safer?
I don't
Is it
think
gonna
so.
stop people from killing black people with guns?
No.
There's your
Because
answer.
where do the guns in the hood come from? You know, I had a student that got murdered not long ago, and he was on Instagram. He had like AR-15s. And he was like 14. How you get an AR-15 and you 14? That's my issue. That's my gun control issue. Like, how do we stop that? You know, people going across borders, buying guns and like, you know, and then selling them. You know, the black market stuff. Nobody talks about that a lot. How do kids?
We got
get
laws
AR-15s?
against drugs, and people still do drugs. You still have rehab centers and everything. So it's just an illusion of order. It's not.
Yeah,
So
murder is
illusion
illegal.
is the best word.
Murder is illegal.
So what you guys?
Like nothing else to say.
So I'm taking it that everybody on the panel is pro 2A Second Amendment. And to my understanding, the Second Amendment is your right to bear arms against tyrannical government, making sure that your government does not overrun you or overtake you. A lot of people make that mistake and they feel like the 2A is, this is to protect myself. And yes, people do use the 2A or the Second Amendment to protect themselves. But the true intent of the Second Amendment, people, is to protect yourself from a tyrannical government, so they can't go and just say anything and do as they please. So,
let me say it real quick, because this always bothers me when, like, I'm a Second Amendment guy, but I'm not a ego flying nut about it. When people say, "Oh, I need my AR-15 to defend against the government," I was in the military. It ain't gonna help you.
You said what?
It'll defend you against somebody coming into your house or something, but you ain't gonna beat the government with your AR-15.
Oh, of course.
So,
I am not a pro Second Amendment. I'm a pro redo the Constitution to include black people.
Exactly.
Because that Second Amendment is not for us. It's not for us.
They redo that Constitution. They're gonna take a whole bunch of things out and add a whole bunch of new stuff. It's a good thing that they can't mess with it.
Yeah, I'll be careful what you ask for there.
For us, melanin, plentiful.
Listen, we ain't even consider
it's not made for us. It was made against us, in spite of us.
What up?
Because they might take away that First Amendment, and then we wouldn't even be able to have a show. It'll be like straight up some of these other countries where you say something about the president and you end up in a black van. Like,
With a hood over your head.
Exactly.
Oh man, see, there y'all go. Well, I do appreciate y'all talking about the gun laws and everything like that. Now, next week, we do have a nice episode. We have fitness coming up. We have the episode of fitness. We have Mr. Joseph Arablo. He's going to be making a guest appearance. And we have Miss Monica Diggs. So, guys, if you have questions about, hey, man, look, how I get my muscles bigger, or how I how for the ladies, how I do that, or ladies, you know how all those questions, how that song go, girl, I think my butt getting big. All these questions, all these questions y'all want to ask. Tune in next week, and you will be able to ask those questions, guys. I also want to tell you we do have the Good Guy Experience group page. Come in. We are putting in live interactions where you guys can come and be a part of the interactions. Hey, who knows? We may even start giving out gifts. We may even invite you to be on and be a part of the show. So if you're not part of the Good Guy Experience group, please get there. Join us, guys. It's been a pleasure. I want to thank Coach Knox for coming on again. We definitely.
Oh man, I appreciate it, man.
We
I've been watching y'all like celebrities. I feel honored. I appreciate you letting me hang out for
one day. Hopefully, we will be celebrities. And I want to thank our guests. Thank you guys for being a part of the show. Thank you for interacting with us. There would be no us without you. And once again, welcome to the Good Guy Experience, where the experience is always good, guys. Are there any last thoughts, Ash? Any last thoughts?
No, y'all be easy. Remember. We gotta air it out.
Artwork photos in the house. What's your last thoughts?
Stay safe out there.
All right, Coach Knox, what you got?
Man, be the change you want to see. Starts with you. Don't be a spectator in the world. Get involved.
And Black Pearl, what you got?
I just want to remind everyone to wear your black proudly. It is only a threat because it is one of the most powerful things on this earth. It's your blackness.
Ma'am.
And I also want to say, guys, you know, it starts with us. Ashley, so somebody started playing something, but Ash and I believe our generation and Ash's generation, we have a generation that are fearless. I look at the kids that I see in the classroom. I look at these. We have a fearless generation. If we can steer them in the right direction to point that fearlessness into a positive direction for us and for our communities, I feel like we can't overcome those humps. I feel like Ash said, the old way isn't working, guys. We have to find a new way. We have to do new things, guys. And it starts with us. So, guys, once again, welcome to the Good Guy Experience, where the experience is always good. Guys, have a good night.